Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. We begin from the education sector, where the National Executive Council of the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities has issued a strong warning over the ongoing renegotiation process between university-based unions and the federal government, insisting that no final agreement has been reached and threatening industrial action if talks are not concluded by the end of April. The position was contained in a communique issued at the end of a special National Executive Council meeting held at the union's National Secretariat in Abuja, where leaders reviewed development in the negotiation process. According to the communique signed by the National President of SANU, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Muhammad Ibrahim, the National Executive Council reaffirmed the renegotiation process with the federal government is still ongoing and has not been concluded. In the meantime, primary and secondary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory will begin an indefinite strike on Monday over unresolved welfare and promotion-related demands. The Nigerian Union of Teachers says the action follows delays in implementing agreements reached after a previous 3-month strike in 2025. The union is also demanding a review of promotion processes and the removal of conditions affecting career progression for eligible teachers. Still talking education, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has apologized for the delays in releasing a batch of University Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME results, assuring candidates that the result will be made public later today. The board spokesperson, Fabian Benjamin, says the delay was due to the temporary absence of board's chief executive, adding that the issue has now been resolved. JAMB also noted that over 600,000 results have already been released, with minimal hitches recorded across examination centers nationwide. Away from education to security matters, where all 13 passengers abducted along the Makurdi-Otukpo Road in Otukpo local government area of Benue State have been successfully released. Security sources confirmed that the victims were freed during a coordinated operation by troops of Operation Wall Stroke following sustained pressure on the kidnappers. The rescued passengers are reported to be in safe condition, although details surrounding the rescue operations are yet to be fully disclosed. Global Television will bring you details later. Troops of Operation Hatankai have discovered and safely detonated an improved explosive device IED in Marira town along the Gajoram axis of Borno State. Counter-security analyst Zagazola Makama posted on X that the device was detected at about 9 a.m. by an explosive ordnance disposal and route scanning team deployed from a forward operation base in the area. The IED was reportedly found at the edge of a town's exit gate, raising concerns about possible threat to civilian and security personnel using the route. Nigeria will deploy 200 Special Forces personnel to Turkey for specialized military training under a new defense pact. The announcement was made by the Defense Minister Christopher Musa at the Antalya Diplomacy Forum. The agreement, strengthened by recent high-level talks and President Bola Tinubu's visit, covers counter-terrorism, intelligence sharing, and defense collaboration. Meanwhile, Nigeria has secured a major diplomatic breakthrough at the Inter-Parliamentary Union adopt a landmark resolution championed by Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, at its 152nd Assembly in Istanbul, Turkey. The resolution, which focuses on the role of Parliament in post-conflict recovery and peace building, was debated extensively before gaining approval from member states, signaling broad international support. Reacting, the Deputy Speaker described the adoption as a call to action for over 155 nation parliament to strengthen laws that promote peace building, conflict prevention, and sustainable recovery worldwide. Former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai has raised alarm over what he described as a fresh plot to implicate him in criminal activities, alleging a coordinated effort to damage his reputation and keep him in prolonged detention. In a statement issued by his media advisor, Muyiwa Akedeye, El-Rufai warned of malicious orchestrations against him, pointing to recent developments which he said indicates a troubling pattern. The former Kaduna governor recalled an incident in February 12, 2026, when he was allegedly targeted for arrest upon arrival at Abuja airports from Cairo, describing it as an early sign of the challenges ahead. The federal government has tasked the 7 regional development commissions with the need for economic diversification and self-sufficiency across the region. This was contained in a communique released by the head, Information and Public Relations, Sani Datti, after a 2-day retreat organized by the Ministry of Regional Development in collaboration with the Regional Development Commission in Benin City, Edo State. The communique stated that the federal government also used the retreat to set a decisive course for accelerated regional development. Over now to Zamfara State, where the government has set a target to vaccinate 1.6 million children in the ongoing April round of immunization as health authorities intensify efforts to curb the resurgence of polio in the state. The Executive Secretary of the Zamfara State Primary Health Care Board, Dr. Hussaini Yakubu, disclosed this during a media dialogue held at the Polio Emergency Operations Center in Gusau, the state's capital. The Executive Secretary of the Zamfara State Primary Health Care Board, Dr. Hussaini Yakubu, revealed that 10 cases of polio had been recorded across 4 local government areas, attributing the development largely to prevailing insecurity, which continues to hinder access to some communities. According to him, the state government has directed all local government council chairmen to strengthen security arrangements within their areas to enable health workers carry out the immunization exercise without disruption.
Distribution of the, and we need to maybe caution our staff and the general public. One, we observe or we receive the order to come and have this discussion with you, and by extension, we send our sincere appreciation to His Excellency Zamfara State to move ahead. We see that even the last leadership, PHC leadership challenge, Zamfara State won in the entire knowledge.
Dr. Yakubu assured residents that polio vaccine is safe and effective, urging parents and guardians to make their children available for vaccination. Mukhtar Kasim, reporting for Global TV News. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Monday morning will begin with relatively calm conditions across the country, with cloudy skies covering the southern half of the country to mostly sunny conditions across the northern states. However, we can't completely rule out some light rainfall to kick off the day, as an overnight system brings thunderstorms to parts of Niger and Kwara states. And as the day progresses, the late afternoon will see an increase in convective activities, as thunderstorms are expected to develop in the southeast, the southwest, and the coastal areas. And this should also extend to parts of Benue, Kogi, and Kwara states. Meanwhile, a few areas, including Taraba, the Federal Capital Territory, Nasarawa, and Niger, will experience thunder without rain. And that's the weather update for Monday. Join us again.
You're welcome back from that break, and if you're just tuning in, this is the live broadcast of News Cycle on Global Television. And now to business news, where the federal government has banned the importation of poultry products, cement, pharmaceuticals, and agricultural goods from countries outside the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. A circular issued by the Federal Ministry of Finance and signed by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, indicates that the affected goods are part of 17 items listed on revised import prohibition list. The revised list forms part of the 2026 fiscal policy measures and tariff amendments. The federal government has borrowed 100 billion naira from unclaimed dividends and dormant bank accounts, converting the fund into debt instrument under the unclaimed trust fund. Data from the Debt Management Office shows the move forms part of Nigeria's domestic debt profile, which stood at over 80 trillion naira as of December 2025. While legally backed, the policy continues to draw criticism over the use of private funds for government financing. Meanwhile, the Debt Management Office, on behalf of the federal government, has allotted a total of 3.64 billion naira in April 2026 saving bond offer, reflecting the steady retail investor participation in government-backed securities. This is according to the offer result published by the office following the close of offer period held between April 7 and April 10, 2026. The offer featured two instruments, a 2-year bond maturing in April 2028 and a 3-year bond maturing in April 2029, both attracting notable interest from individual investors. Still talking business, the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation is under fresh scrutiny as the House of Representatives steps up its investigation into the 1.12 trillion naira ANCO borrower program, raising concerns over insurance coverage and alleged diversion of funds. At an investigative hearing in Abuja, the corporation's representative, Dayo Babaronti, told lawmakers the corporation insured over 207,000 farmers to the tune of 109 billion naira, just about 12% of the total intervention. National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick has more.
The House Committee on Nutrition and Food Security, chaired by Chike Okafor, has summoned key stakeholders including Nike, Leadway Insurance and Veritas Capital Insurance, while also reviewing submissions from the Central Bank of Nigeria on the program's disbursements framework. Nike's representative Dayo Babaronti revealed that the central bank brought in additional issuers outside the initial framework, which designated Nike as the sole underwriter, even as Leadway and Veritas Capital Insurance were absent from the session.
Contrary to the rule, Nike was offered and provided cover for only the sum of 109 billion out of 1.12 trillion. We provided cover for only 109 billion, which translated to only 207,000 farmers. 109 billion was the cover we provided out of 1.12 trillion.
Committee Chairman Chike Okafor said the panel would reconvene with Nike after reviewing its delayed submission, stressing that complaints from farmers and community groups have made a thorough probe necessary. He noted that earlier findings point to weak stakeholder engagement in the design of the scheme, a factor believed to have undermined its overall effectiveness.
Some of the farmers or cooperatives that monies were paid to fertilizer, someone to supply fertilizer, and then the monies were paid directly from your bank, even though your accounts were debited as it were. Some of you had to wait for those fertilizers for as long as it didn't come. And then we had some natural disasters in the northeast particularly. And of course we had the issues of herders farmers clashes. So I'm trying to explain to us that we are trying to guide the executive government to say there are a gamut of reasons, both man-made, human-made, managerial-made, God made that brought us to where we are.
As the probe deepens, lawmakers say uncovering accountability gaps in the Anchor Borrowers program will be critical in restoring confidence in government-backed agricultural interventions and ensuring future funding delivers real impact for Nigerian farmers. From the National Assembly, Aniette Patrick, Global TV News.
Now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. The government of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and M23 rebels have agreed to allow aid deliveries, release prisoners and protect civilians following talks in Switzerland mediated by the United States Department of State. The two sides announced the measures in a joint statement shared by the U.S. Department of State following 5 days of talks in Switzerland. The latest agreement is seen as a step towards de-escalation, though concerns remain over continued clashes and restricted humanitarian access. Away from Africa to Asia, where South Korea and Japan says North Korea has launched multiple ballistic missiles towards the sea off its eastern coast early morning hours, marking North Korea's 7th ballistic missile launch this year and its 4th in April. The missiles were fired near the city of Sinpo on North Korea's east coast. South Korea's military said in a statement, the South Korea has also boosted its surveillance posture and was closely exchanging information with the United States and Japan. The launches violate United Nations Security Council resolutions, though North Korea insists the tests are for self-defense. United States President Donald Trump has announced that the U.S. negotiators will travel to Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, on Monday for talks aimed at ending the U.S.-Iran war, the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. In a post on social media, Trump didn't detail which officials the U.S. would send for a second round of talks in person with Iranian negotiators in Islamabad. Last weekend's talk, at which Vice President J.D. Vance led the United States delegation, ended without a deal. In his post, Trump accused Iran of violating a 2-week ceasefire that is due to expire on Wednesday by opening fire on Saturday in the Strait of Hormuz. And now talking sport. The Nigeria National League has fixed April 24, 2026 for the official draw of its Super 4 playoffs. The event will hold at a hotel in Ikeja, Lagos State, setting the stage for the climax of the 2025-2026 season. The Super 4 tournament is scheduled from May 1st to May 8th at Remo Star Stadium, where the league champions will be decided. Nigeria's women's under-17 football team will face Guinea in the final qualifying round for the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Guinea booked their place with an 8-2 aggregate victory over Niger Republic, sealing the tie after victories in both legs. Newly appointed Flamingos head coach Hakeem Bousari has called up 36 players to camp ahead of the decisive fixture. Guinea will host the first leg May 22 and 24, while Nigeria will host the return leg on May 30. In the meantime, Nigeria's rising cycling talent, Godwin Grace Osaritan, has continued her rapid ascent on the continental stage after winning stage 5 of the Tour de Burkina Faso. The Tour de Burkina Faso, organized by the Amateur Sport Organization, which also runs the Tour de France, has been part of the UCI Africa Tour since 2005 and is classified as a 2.2 event. The teenager delivered a standout performance in what is regarded as one of Africa's more competitive road cycling events, further strengthening her growing reputation as one of the sport's most promising young riders. The National Sports Commission has expressed deep sorrow over the death of former Nigeria Football Association Chairman Ibrahim Galadima, describing his passing as a major loss to Nigeria's sports sector. NSC Director Shehu Diko highlighted Galadima's role in advancing football administration, including key international collaborations and FIFA-backed projects that strengthen Nigeria's sporting structure. The Commission says Galadima's legacy of integrity, service, and commitment will endure as condolences pour in to his family, the Kano State government, and the wider Nigerian sporting community. That's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.